Hey, what is going on, everyone? And welcome to Extreme Bronco live here on Wednesday night at 8:30. What's up, dude?
Sup?
We're all here. Let's go to the comments. A lot of people checking in from the get-go. Thank you for that, by the way. Bronco 78. Okay, I'm here. We can get started now. I was waiting for you. I was like worried. Hey, come on, man. All Train Nation, hello. What is going on? Dirk Connor, hey. Update on your Bronco. What's happening with that, Dirk? Jason K, what is going on? Mike Max, hey guys, how are you? Brandon Richards, hey everyone. Hello, Pezhead. What's going on? I've finally thawed out from last weekend, and we're going to go to it. Iconic Bronco, howdy to you too, sir. Mobile Motto, say cheese, you're live. What's up, man?
I didn't recognize that was like say cheese.
I don't know if that's what he meant or not, but I'm
I
assuming
thought that he just said cheese.
it might be something else. Sometimes I don't get the obvious, and
It might be just commenting.
Pesthead 123. What did I win? I was going to tell Tim that. We'll see if Tim checks in, by the way. And then we'll tell you what you both won. I have a gift for you. Tim, what's going on? Justin Zimmerman, hey, what is up? Long time no see there. And by the way, check this little dude's hat. What does it say?
Big rocks, long shots.
Yep.
Mountains to metal.
Mountains to metal hat. So thanks for the hats. We appreciate it, by the way. You probably see another one over here. I was going to show you pretty cool hats, by the way. You can see that. So anyway, we have that hat there. I appreciate it. Might put it on later. Steve P, what is going on? And the Gavinator, you're in the house and you're back in one piece now. You were a little under the weather over the weekend, weren't you? Mobile. Well, I'm sorry, and I'm glad I'm here and not there. By the way,
under the cold. You were under the cold weather.
Now I understand the cheese comment. Tim Martin, hey, what is going on? Thanks for checking in.
Oh,
look at there.
Boxer.
What's up, Gavin?
Hello, Dirk Connor.
Hello. Digging the new hat. So, Nick is obviously with Mountains to Metal, and we have a cool video just dropped today on that one. I think we're going to try to share it here after. I've got some pictures for you, by the way. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We have some stuff to show you. I'm not just talking all night, and I'm sure you're happy about that. Let's see. Dirk Connor said, my Bronco is still in transit, but did get the production line picked. That's awesome. Congratulations. Good for you. Iconic Bronco. See that? Son's 12, named Gavin. So Gavin, say hi to Gavin.
Hello.
If he's there. If not, tell Gavin we said hello.
I'm a year younger than your
son. You're young. You're a young dude, man.
Dirky.
Dirk. No, it's meant to say Dirk. Typo there. And I do that. I'm a regular typo. Creator. I create some words, right? I create my own language sometimes. Dirk, my production line picture, came in about 2 weeks before delivery. So hopefully if it's in transit, your dealer has, or at least my dealer was able to track where it was.
Well, and I don't able to track where it was.
Well, they gave us parameters. We knew what town it was in, and then we did the math ourselves. We had to figure out how long it takes a train to get from that one town to the next town. We did that. But our dealer was able to tell us, where it passed, because it's kind of weird how it's done. We need to do a video one night. It basically will say the train was passing. So I guess it registers as it goes by a certain place anyway. So All Terrain Nation, what is up, amigos, to you as well. So I'll say amigo. So this weekend, we were supposed to go to Overland Expo East on Friday. And a few things, my daughter had something going on at school. I didn't want to miss it. So I canceled Friday, but we were going Saturday. So I got up at 4 a.m., left at 5, hit the road. But Mr. Gavin couldn't go. He was a little under the weather. So I went by myself, and we had a good time. We had really good pictures, and I want to show you some of that right here. But it was cold. Let me tell you something. Tent camping in 30-degree weather. I felt like I was a degree or two away from dying, and I know it's dramatic. And I've worked in the cold. Don't get me wrong. When I was doing heating and air conditioning service, you're on a roof, you're in the snow, you're outside at night in the middle of the night,
in
cold.
a tornado.
One time a tornado was about a half a mile from us. Yeah. But we were able to go back into the truck or go into the building or house or wherever you were and kind of warm up. I have never been so cold for so long
Warm
sitting
up
still.
from the air conditioner that you just fixed, or heater, or whatever
Heater.
that you just
Yeah.
fixed.
Well, half the time you didn't fix it, but I can guarantee it was warmer inside and outside.
For 1 gallon of fuel. Nice.
Yeah. Well, for 1 gallon of fuel. Thank you. All Terrain Nation, thanks for that super chat. And you're right. It's like hovering right around that mark, isn't it? So actually, there might be a little 5-cent profit on that because I think I paid $4.94. But either way, who's counting pennies? Let's see. Oh, mine took. Brandon Richards said mine took an extra week due to Hurricane Ian. Yeah, I guarantee you that'll slow it up. Light Bright bought a Raptor. I didn't watch all of it. I clicked on their video and they were walking into some event where they were there, a meet and greet, and like I said, I didn't want to watch anymore. I stopped there, but yeah, I did say that, and I think they're paying well over MSRP. I don't know the story.
I would not pay well over MSRP.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's a Bronco.
Yeah,
but
and mobile, you're. I'm assuming Light Bright has theirs already, but I'm paying probably. I don't know how much they paid over it, but I'm paying sticker, so I'll wait. I'm good. Not to mention we have something to drive.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sweet, more Light Bright clickbait. Wonder how long they'll. TJ Miller, what is up? Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really watch their channel, not for any other reason other than I just haven't gotten into it. But yeah, just in case. But anyway, let's get in some of these pictures here. Gavin, what do you say about that?
Sure.
All right, so check this out. So this, Ford has their display that travels around. Don't hit that, please. Ford has their display that they travel around. The company takes the vehicles around and they show them at different events throughout the year. And obviously, this is one of them, just like Supercell and.
That looks like the same display that they had there because that little thing.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. And I have a theory, by the way, on this big Everglades sticker on the front fender. So, I like it. I've said it a gazillion times. I like it. And I did see over on Bronco 6G, I don't think it's worth heading over there and pulling it up, but someone took that sticker off and it just looks, what are you doing, man?
I'm just looking.
Hey, I gotta use the mouse here. We gotta change the picture. So I want to show you something real quick. Dude, are you producing now? Because you can produce it if you want to.
No, because Derek Connor said that's my he said at Brandon Richards. That's my full name, and then I was looking for it.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I didn't know what had been going on around in the chat.
All right. Well, what do you think about that, Gavin? What do you think?
Cool.
You like it? So obviously, well, I mean, sleep's easy too. And based on where I was the other night, I would appreciate it. However, the 10 I was in was really cool. And we're going to get ready to see a picture of that. So let's go ahead and rock and roll here. All right. So that Bronco. So here we were at Overland Expo East in Arrington, Virginia. Now, we were in the big area for the Bronco Nation had a very big area, probably a lot bigger than they needed, but it was nice because you had a lot of space between tents. You weren't right on top of each other. And I mean, some people were right next to each other because they knew each other, right? But the tents were spaced out. There was one, you can see the one on the other side of me there, but Bronco Nation supplied these tents, which was, pretty cool. They're big. I mean, they're really big, they're spacious inside and thick material. So it's not like the parachute material. So they did offer a lot of insulating factors for what was to come. So this was another shot. Now there's a big open area in the middle and around the perimeter. You can see different Broncos. I don't think you can see the mouse on this one here, but there's eruption green Bronco with a pop-up way off in the distance in the center of the picture to the left of that Bronco Nation flag, there was it was the legend, the Area 51 Badlands that they took to Iceland. Remember that video?
Mhm.
And it was pretty cool. So when you look around, this area is so big that there's a conversion van, overlanding type, rig there. Nice, nice stuff on the top. I mean, when you walk around it, you really get to see what they have. I mean, literally live out of that van for probably 2 months or longer, and comfortably. Now check this out. This was a new vehicle here. So this company is taking sort of, well, they didn't take the Defender plans, but you can see the direction they're going, the old Defender. And this company is creating this vehicle from the ground up.
Is that a G-Wagon?
Nope, it is not. It is, I think they pronounce it Ineos.
That they took inspiration from the older G-Wagon and the Defender.
So I don't think so. I think when you look at it, you see more Defender in it than anything, and it definitely is its own vehicle. We couldn't only, I think, have 10 pictures here on this slideshow on the software we're using. However, on the back door, it was like an 80-20 door. So you had a large door on the back and then a very small door to the left of it on the rear. So it would have been, this is the right-hand side, obviously on the back, it would have been on the left. So the spare tire slightly off center. It's a neat vehicle. It has these hatches that open up above the driver and passenger side.
It's not one door, it's like two?
There's 2 doors on the back. And imagine on the left-hand side, the doors, like I said, when I say 80-20, imagine 100% of the width of the vehicle. And about 80% of it was this door with the tire. And 20% of it.
Because it has to house the tire.
Right. So the other door was the one that
35-inch tire, which with all the mounting stuff.
All right. So now we're getting into the good stuff. Check this out. Now, this is Mountains to Metal Bronco here. Now, you ever thought about you need space or you need to design something or you need something like in your head, you kind of have an idea, but you don't know. This right here was not anything I thought of, but it was exactly when I saw it, I said, this is it. This is what I've trying to arrange into my head here, because this Molly panel on the left-hand side where the ARB compressor is, that puts the compressor in the back versus underneath the hood, which I'd prefer it to be inside the vehicle. It adds, it's really close to that side panel. So you're not taking up a lot of square footage in the back. The tray, and I think we only have one picture here, but the tray that you see with that yellow device, don't say it.
Salt blast.
Yeah. There, when you see that tray's turn up and there's shock springs on that, or the gas springs on that, like little shocks. So when it closes, it latches. And then also on the side, underneath the sport bar and above the side panels are Molly panels as well. And so basically you have a lot of areas to keep your small items, your hatchet, your compressor, who knows, whatever you want to strap to that Molly panel or grid, some people call it. But then that tray, when it folds down, it adds a lot of storage there. What was interesting was, so Becky has a saddle. So for her Bronco, if the tray was installed so it was down all the time, it would impede that saddle from going in because it has to sit on the horn side, the part where you grab it has to go down that way. And it would be too tall. So because the tray hinges up, now she can still put her saddle in there and you can put suitcases and other things. But then if you want to store something on there, it pulls down. And, but I thought that was very, very interesting. So we did a video on it, and if I can share it, we will. Now, this was an interesting Bronco here. So I'm hoping to connect with these people and talk about it. So this was obviously, the color. Oh, that's amazing. We just had 500,000 views. I just got the email popped up. Hey, thank you all by the way. So this eruption green 2-door here with that sort of that woody look on the side, the wrap, clean, good idea. I'm curious why they didn't take that and sort of go around the front fender all the way to the front. Maybe if we get to talk to them, we'll find out why. Maybe in sketch it was too much. I mean, that very well, because that would be a lot of color on that Bronco.
A lot of wood on the two.
A lot of wood on it. I'd agree.
On the two door.
But this Bronco looked good. It sat right, looked right. You know, there was,
Serious.
there was a few different things on there in the front, the suspension. I can't even go through it. Maybe we get to talk to them and go through the breakdown of what they have. But it was a very very cool Bronco. Now, if you guys want to laugh at me, look, I poke fun at myself, right? I know I get it in the comments too. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. You want to see something funny? Get ready. This was in a tent, thanks to the Bronco Nation, by the way, for not they didn't have to give you tents, by the way. Bring your own. I had my own with me, but thanks to them for having an actual thick material to keep some of that cold out. It got down. It was supposed to get to 37, which was cold. It actually got down to 30 degrees per the Bronco. Someone else, over across the way has all their fancy gadgets and telemetry, Gavin, and they said it was 29. So who's counting a degree? Actually, when it's that cold, a degree matters.
Yeah.
Anything matters. And you want to hear a funny story? I think I told you this. So I got up. I woke up at a couple times, but at 5 a.m. And I took one for the team for 30 minutes. So at 5:30, I said, "The heck with this," and I reached down and grabbed my keys and cranked the Bronco up. And here, let's get rid of that picture. That's a horrible picture. I cranked the Bronco up, let it warm up, and then I felt bad, right? Because other people around there, I just knew they were going to wake up because my Bronco's running. So I'm sitting in there and I'm thinking, well, I almost died, I think, so I was heating up. And of course, the Bronco, the lights come on automatically. So the auto on and off with the lights, when you turn that off, that's fine. But when you crank it up, it's still back in that.
Yeah, it still turns on.
So when I opened the door, I think I hit the ignition, the lights came on. So I was able to close all that up. And so I'm sitting there saying, well, how am I going to apologize for waking people up 5:30 in the morning? And the Porta-John cleaning truck rolls in about 10 minutes till 6. Fog lights on the top bar, big truck, diesel. And I think they call it I'm pretty sure that truck had a PTU and a power takeoff unit where it connects the engine to the pump. And he engaged that and it started making this, grinding noise. And then he gets out and he's doing his thing and he slams. I don't know if he slammed on purpose, but the doors made a lot of noise, put it that way. And I was thinking, thank goodness if somebody wakes up, it's not my fault. It's that guy's fault. And, it was foggy. The dew was really heavy the night before. Then it froze and it was really thick. One of my videos shows how much frost was on the vehicle. It wasn't just like the light frost. It was straight up ice and then a little bit of frost on top of that.
Snow?
It was borderline snow, but I have never been so cold in my life. And look, the weather predicted somewhere in the low to mid 40s. Okay, so I went prepared for low to mid 40s. So what I did learn this time was, and you live and you learn, I learned really quick that I need to go prepared. Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I need to go prepared for colder weather, probably 20 degrees colder than what I'm being told is going to be. So I don't know. So you guys can laugh at me all you want to. Oh, let's see. Those wheels are okay. Looks like a regular Bronco without the sticker. Yep. TJ Miller, I don't think it looks good with that sticker, in my opinion. I like taking the decals off. Yeah. So as far as the Everglades is concerned, I just like the way it looks. It's a different trim. And the reason why I like it so much is because that big sticker on the side makes it look so much different. And it's pretty cool. You get a mid package with a 12-inch screen and you get the pull out tailgate from the factory. You like that, right? Because you did the video where you were like,
I did the reel.
All right, here we go. Good question here. Brandon Richards said, question for those with 2.7 engine, what fuel grade are you purchasing? Well, Brandon, I can't speak for anyone else, but we are exclusively 93 octane. We have 93 here, and that's what we use. I have a theory, and you know how they go, but I have a theory that it helps with the MPG, and I do know for a fact that it helps it helps with the performance of the engine. Like a boosted small displacement engine really needs a high octane, in my opinion, and so that's what I run. Let's see. Um, Ineos Grenadier. And yeah, what was funny was the name of this, I was told, was um, created from a pub that the guy that designed it and owns the company went to. I guess they had to come up with a name. And so there you go. That was pretty cool.
Now I'm gonna get off a little bit early, like nine, no, like 8 minutes early.
8 minutes early. All right, man. See ya.
I'm tired, as you can.
You know what?
Tell.
I told everyone that we saw I missed you this weekend, and it was our first Bronco event that you weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, you missed the Bronco Nation pancakes. And this
I've
time they
had
had
them
sausage,
before.
by the way.
I've
But it
had
was
them before.
but they get better. They get better. They get better and better and better. Anyway, good night, son.
Okay, good night.
Hey, you want to tell Nick and Justin thank you?
Yeah, thank you guys for sending me this. I'm more excited, but I'm very tired.
Yeah, he's kind of tired. This whole school thing, I think we're going to get it worked out to where, school night, homework, soccer, and all that good stuff. So he's about out. Let's see. All right, let's go through the comments here. YouTube spotter, I like the Ineos. It's a basic 2-row off-roader. Mobile Motto said Ineos is a global chemical company. Our products touch every aspect of modern day. Yeah, they were telling us about that. So this person wanted to bring that kind of that vehicle back, and well, you know what? They're doing it. It's supposed to go on sale, I think, in a month or two in Europe, and at the end of 23 here. A small, relatively small deposit, I think it was 1,000 or so, gets you in line to be able to order one. And as long as we're on schedule at the end of 23, there was really nothing on the MSRP, but it was hints it was going to be in the 80-ish numbers, 70, mid 70s to mid 80s. So, I mean, that's what I was told. I have no proof of that. Let's see. Yeah. Nice color, but no wood. I think that, let's see, the wood trim on it. Yeah. I think you're talking about because I'm going back through the comments, the two-door eruption green. Yeah. When you were there and the light was hitting, it was really cool. It added a whole lot to it. Yeah. PTO mobile. You're right. I was thinking, unit, but it's take off. You're right. I couldn't remember. I don't have to deal with something like that often. There's actually something similar on a Ford Explorer for the all-wheel drive that we had to get replaced after we cooked one going to the mountains. Let's see. TJ Miller said, you needed one of those small buddy heaters. Yeah. So let me tell you, I went prepared for mid to low 40s. I would have been perfectly fine with my sleeping bag and the blanket. Well, actually, the blanket, somebody loaned me there. I'm trying to think of the gentleman's name, but I told him it was like a 1-inch thick blanket, and he's probably the reason I'm alive. But it was cold. I slept in 2 coats in the sleeping bag, the hood on, shoes on. I didn't want to take my shoes off. It was crazy. I'm new at camping, right? A couple times, out in the Bronco, and the Bronco's starting to get us out there. But I'm not going to tell you I'm a pro at it. I'm learning. So each time I go, you can believe that next time I'll be prepared for that plus some. But there'll be something else you didn't account for, and then just goes from there. But I need one of those heaters. And the good news was everyone was cold. Everyone said, yeah, it was bitter cold. I talked to a guy. Well, the good news is it just wasn't me. There was a guy in a van there that didn't have his heater on, didn't have fuel for it. And he said he was, had to get up and crank his vehicle up a couple times. So I'm just glad it wasn't me. Let's move on from that. Let's see. Yeah. So Bronco's too much of an enclosed space for a propane heater. Yeah. Actually, a friend of mine I grew up with passed away in a camper with some type of propane heater years ago. And I would darn near freeze to death, like, before that. So I was in a tent. Getting in the Bronco would have been great just to crank it up and let it warm up and then go to sleep. But I had everything in the back. I had all my gear in the back, and but we're good. I'm alive. We're good to go. But I will go prepared next time. You can believe that. Yeah. So Bronco 78, there were good vendors. There's a lot of really good vendors there, by the way. You could even buy a shower there if you wanted to, a portable geyser shower. But I waited a little long to decide to stick it out. The weather was for 37 degrees, not 30. There's just a few things. Had I known it was going to be 30, I'd have had some type of, bigger sleeping bag or something, or some kind of a hot packs that you can buy and put in there, or I would have went to a hotel. Okay. Cause I wouldn't have stayed knowingly in 30 degrees. But, you know what? I'm glad I did it. I know my barrier now is probably 32 and above. I just didn't like 30. It made my whole face hurt. Hey, Nick, what is going on? Sorry, once again, I didn't get the pictures. I had these pictures here. We're going to try to roll that over to next week. I actually might even do a video here one day on some early Broncos. Hang in there for me, my friend. But I will tell Gavin, you guys said good night. Nicholas Martin, he definitely talked to you. Yeah. Let's see. Young, and Gavin, I don't know if you heard that. I think Nick was referring to the fact that, I told everybody there I was missing my buddy. Let's see. Young Mr. Gavin dreaming about the Broncos. Yeah, he's dreaming about a blue one that one day he's going to get. Let's see. Here we go. Let's do this one here. Ran my first tank at 87 through mine today. Definitely runs better on 93, I think. 3.96 versus 4.19 a gallon here. And PA, yeah, I'm a believer that that the 93 is a better option. And we have a part that we'll be installing on our Bronco, and I'm actually going to the manufacturer to get behind the scenes of it being made and a little backstory with that. So we do have a really cool video coming up that's going to go, it's going to dive pretty deep into the fuel oil system, two different systems, obviously, right? But somewhat related. If you dual injection, direct injection and dual injection and oil. So there's a lot of stuff there, but I'm going to a manufacturer. We're going to talk about some of the technical stuff and how they engineer these components, and we're going to do a video on it. So it's going to be pretty cool. And I'm hoping to get out there next week. So watch out for that. Yeah. Brandon Richards said Team Eruption Green. I agree. I like the Eruption Green. Let's see. There was how many Broncos did I see there? Maybe, I think, there's only 2 Eruption Green. Yeah, there's only 2 of them there. There was Justin's and the 2-door I just showed you a picture of. And there was another one. I didn't see it. But, there was a lot of really cool stuff. Here's one thing I learned, that in a world full of stress and chaos and everyone just like on the edge and losing it, not everyone, but a lot of people, I went to this event. It was laid back. It was a lot of laughs, a lot of people just hanging out. The local beer they served there, say local, it's a local brewery, and they do sell it all over the state of Virginia, but it was really good. I ate off a taco food truck for the first time ever in my life. It was good. It was awesome. What else did we have? Bronco Nation. When you go to an event where they have base camp, first time for me having tents there, but they typically do the pancake breakfast, which is really, like really good. I enjoy it. I really do. And this time there was sausage with it and other stuff, and the campfire, the seats around the campfire, people talking, catching up, introducing herself, learning stuff. It was fun. Yeah, we had a blast. No shortage of firewood. They bring the firewood, or they buy it locally, but there's a lot of firewood on hand. Trust me. So you can just keep that fire going and having a good time. But the coffee in the morning is great. So if you ever get a chance to do one of the Bronco Nation events, the base camps, highly recommend doing it. It's fun. And Gavin and I we've always had a good time since our first Supercell. So just not trying to sell anything there. I'm just simply saying it's a really good group of people that we hang out with when we go. But the overall event, there was a lot of stuff there. We have a video coming of a review on this $600,000 overlanding house on wheels. So if you think about what's a lot of money, who can afford that? Think about the person that's buying the entry level house out in California. Maybe entry level slightly above that. They might spend 500,000 on 2 bedroom. So if you're in California and that's your budget for a house, with the financing that's offered and the ability to do your work, if your work can be done, by mobile, right? Tech and stuff over the air. Um, you can buy this versus a house and see the country and go around to different places. That's no secret. People's been doing it for years. But I think when you talk to them about the marketing, they tell you about how many more people are inquiring or buying or ordering or in that process of doing that. And I thought that was very interesting. Now, not all of them are that expensive. The other thing that was a big deal there, we're going to try to do a video on this as well, so you can explain it a little bit better than a live, is the pull behind campers. So if you think about one thing, because I'm not a experienced camper by trade, or by hobby, when you go and you have bins and boxes and everything in the back or in a trailer, when you get to a campsite, you don't want to have to unload all of these individual totes and start digging through stuff to pop the tent and to do this. This camper, or excuse me, this trailer, you set it up, you level it, you disconnect it from the vehicle, and then the roof mounted tent goes up on it. The awning opens up. When you open up these big doors, you have everything where it needs to be. You have, little pantry drawers. Typically, they're in drawers. You have your silverware drawers. You have your cooktop. You have your sink. Some of them have water heaters with propane tanks to, use the water heater. And then you can have a shower attached to it. I mean, these rigs are like straight up first class, and prices were between 26 and 50,000 on those. So there again, what's your budget? What's your hobby? How much are you going to use it? But I have to tell you, when you pull up to a campsite, it's a matter of leveling the trailer, popping the tent, and start organizing the stuff from within the trailer. You're not moving stuff, over here and then putting it back. And not a huge deal, I guess, to some people, but for the camper that just wants to go somewhere, drop the camper and go. And that's or a trailer with the roof mounted tent. Now, one of the things I said, well, I want a roof mounted tent on our Bronco, not on a trailer. Well, the feedback that I got from some people was, well, they want to go wheeling and some pretty heavy duty wheeling, and they don't want that weight on top of the vehicle, and they don't want to worry about it. So I didn't think about that. If you have a roof mounted tent, that may be an obstacle for you. So it's all in what you want. If you're not going heavy duty wheeling, roof mounted tents for you. If you are, ground camping's it, or pulling that trailer. So I thought it was very interesting to be able to see this stuff, from the portable showers to the trailers to the $500,000 rigs riding down the road on F600 chassis. Next week I'll probably show 10 more photos. I could only get 10 in here. Sorry about that. But it was a really neat deal. Accessories, skid plates. We did talk to a company there that makes skid plates, and we're going to invite them on the show, see if they'll come on the show. If not, we'll at least show their product on the website. Really heavy duty stuff. Looks good. High quality, lightweight, military grade type stuff too. Been proven the hard way. And then all the small accessories, the cooking accessories that you can get. Now, there again, you don't have to have the trailer or the $500,000 rig. A lot of the stuff you simply put in your vehicle or bolt onto your vehicle. If you look at Mountains to Metal, their Molly panel stuff, a lot of your small stuff, you're going to be able to attach to that and keep it off of the, you can only stack so much stuff, right, in the back of the Bronco. So when I started thinking about organization, that Mountains to Metal deal works for me. But then we're going to probably mount some fuel tanks or freshwater tanks on the rear spare tire, something that you can put on and take off relatively easy. That's a good option. Also, a cargo carrier in the hitch, the travel baskets or whatever they call those baskets out back. I think that's a really, that's a really, really good way to go. Hey, let's catch up on the checking this. I've been looking into this for a long time. In my RV right now at a friend's house at work. Oh, I done missed something there. Oh, you are there. You're here we go. Mobile is in his RV right now at a friend's place for work. Good deal. Yeah, and there again, you take that RV wherever you want to, well, just about anywhere you want to go. Becky's not really into that yet. Maybe one day she will be, but I have to give her time. We're still young. Today is our 20th wedding anniversary. So yeah, next time you see her, you know, pat her on the back and say good job for putting up with me for 20 years. Oh, let's see. Bronco 78 said, thinking about building me a trail to go camping in. I think it's meant trailer there. Yeah, you know, it's probably the best way of doing it. And it's becoming, these people sell these things every day, right? And their market has steadily increased since 2020. And you know why, but it hasn't slowed down yet. Now we'll see what interest rates do to stuff, but we had a very stressful meeting this afternoon at work in relation to interest rates. So, let's see, the Broncos, and it's like everyone else when you're in the business. Interest rates are something that you've got to educate people on, because if you watch the 6 o'clock news, you start going off. Anyway, the Broncos mirrors are terrible. Question anyone's sanity that pulls anything with it. Yeah, there's a lot of people that pull. I mean, that trailer I'm telling you about, one of them. So there was vendors set up that had all these different brands. I say all of them. There was maybe 3 major brands there, and each brand had multiple trailers with them. But there was a few private owners that had these, and one was in the Bronco Nation base camp, and it was a turtleback. I think they called it a turtleback trailer, and it had I might mess this name up. Sorry if I do, a 23-0 or a 023 tent on it. And it was what I was describing to you earlier. One of the sweetest things out there. I am dumb question. What's the benefit of a roof? Yeah. Okay. TJ Miller. I asked this question early on, and just like some of the comments that are coming in, alligators, snakes, possums, lizards, armadillos, yeah. So rooftop tents are for people who are scared of animals camping. Yeah. I mean, there's no telling what crawls around on the ground out in the mountains of Virginia. When Gavin and I were there, he was having all these ideas that he heard raptors and everything else in the trees, but I assured him they weren't raptors, but I didn't know what they were. So that didn't help. Yeah, if it rains, obviously a roof mounted tent is going to be a little cleaner, than if you're on the ground. There's also something to be said. I had a air mattress, so you're not in direct contact with the ground. But if you're roughing it, like really roughing it, and you're sleeping directly on the ground, you have that temperature there, and the dampness, even though you have a tarp down, comes through it. We did that up in the mountains. We didn't take an air mattress with us. So see, each time I'm getting better. At least this time my back, I wasn't frozen with a hurt back. Okay. I was just frozen, but I was comfortable. It was a comfortable frozen, if that makes any sense. But I do want a roof mounted tent for us. I think, it is another thing about it. Depends on what brand you go with. You can have this tent literally opened up in 5 minutes, and in most cases, and have your stuff in it in another 5 or 10. So you might be 15, 20 minutes invested in being set up. Now that doesn't take into account, you should level, your Bronco, and or your whatever you're driving. But in this case, Bronco, you can level it with rocks that you find on site, or you can carry these little spacers. If you're on a hill, drive one side up on it, level as much as possible so you're not sleeping, at a big angle. Or if you're lucky, you find flat ground, you don't need to worry about any of it. Yeah, and TJ Miller said, good question. Flooding, why not set your tent up where it does? Well, that's a logical question. I get it. I think, the deal is if you set it up in I don't know, maybe somewhat of a sketchy area and then it rains, you might find out that, especially a heavy rain, that you're going to get a nuisance inch of water that's going to, cause problems. I mean, I don't know how many times that happens, but that's my third camping trip. It's going to be a monsoon somewhere. Let's see, I slept on gravel. I slept in 30 degrees. So then it's got to be rain or high winds or, whatever. And I will say something off these Overland. Yeah. So there was a lot of Australians there, a lot of Australian companies there. Between the overlanding, the snorkels on the vehicle, and these pull behind trailers or camp, like they've got their setup straight. There was a few rigs I was looking at. One was a Jeep, and I think with the trailer, everything there estimated at $140,000. But it was a nice looking Jeep, very nice trailer, had everything you could bolt to this vehicle was to it, and you would think you had everything you need. So it was a nice setup that they had, and it was a lot of dough, and that was built from mainly Australian companies, either there or other companies that supplied them. Yeah, and a lot of people, Bronco 78 was saying, woke up to a lot of people in tents flooded out, never had an issue, and I think where you place the tent makes sense. I think Mobile said that, or someone said that, where you just put it where it doesn't flood. Yeah, I mean, but my thing is, if it rains and it's dry when you set it up, you might find out where it floods. So I don't really know what the right answer is, other than I think with me, yeah, I roof mounted is in the it's in the fold, so to speak. Bronco 78 said, even in 60-mile-per-hour winds. Could you imagine that? So I tell you the danger there, other than your tent blowing over, which is not the big danger. The danger is stuff falling out of trees. So be conscious if it's windy where you're setting your tent up. Mike Mack said, be right back. Ladies chiming in with, uh-oh. I want to hear it. See Bronco 78. Oh, it happens. Man City Adventure, what's going on? Hello to you as well. Let's see, Bronco 78. And if you go to a rally event, or you might be limited on where you can set up a tent. Yeah. So, and I don't, I am going to compliment them. Bronco Nation had reserved a huge area. So if you were there and there was a low area, you could have moved theoretically the tent over if you had to, but where we were was pretty level ground. There was a retention pond next to us, and the ground, there was some overall grade that way. So if you ever had a rain, I think a lot of it would go, but it was thick grass too. So it's going to be a little spongy. It's not like you're going to be completely dry, but we didn't have any rain. And if it would have rained Saturday night, well, moisture, it would have been snow. And I'll have to tell you something. The coffee the next morning was nice. Let's see. Bird Dog Overland. Surprised the aftermarket hasn't released a snorkel to get for the Bronco. That's a good analysis. You would think someone would have that right now, and they might. I haven't looked at all of the companies out there, but plumbing it, I think they would have to give you or sell you a different air box, because we pull from the front. I don't know if there's enough room to plumb around it. And I don't think you could do anything with the cap because it's kind of close to the hood. So I think it would be the snorkel, ducting, and airbox combination if they did. Yeah, this is the correct answer, my friend. If the winds are 60, you're getting a hotel. Yeah. Yeah, I would too. Nick said, I'd rather have a trailer to camp in. I don't like those rooftop tents. So, Nick, I can get that. Some people have a fear of maybe heights, I guess. But the other thing, too, is you are higher, which separates you from the temperature of the ground or the wetness of the ground. But you probably, I mean, what you think is a little breezier, or is it warmer up there? I don't know. I mean, obviously, the higher you go, it gets cold, right? But getting off the ground may make it a little bit warmer until you get high. But I mean, you're talking what, 6 feet ish, 6 to 7 feet, depends on your lift on your vehicle, 6.5 feet. Um, but I get that. Let's see. Oh, all right. No, sorry, I was looking at the wrong comment here. Bird Dog Overland. My dream one day to have a teardrop or similar small trailer. So there was, if you look at the one of the pictures here, and I'll show it to you in a second. Again, there was someone there with a pop up, and so when it popped up, it was sort of like an A roof on it, and then it folded down on itself. Iconic Bronco said, I'm a fan of the Shift Pod tent. Never heard of it. Yeah, yeah, and the other thing too, if you have a soft top Bronco, that presents an issue there. Although there was a company there that I don't know if there was a Bronco there, maybe represented by a supplier there that had the roof mounted braces for under the soft top. So if you put the top back, you could mount a tent to these, between the sport bar, they had their braces. So theoretically, you have an option there. However, the top is back. And I didn't get into the details. Maybe there's something to deal with that. But yeah. So and Nick, I get it. The rooftop tent is not for every year Bronco, and it's definitely not for every person. I know if I had a 78, 79 Bronco, or even up to a 96, I wouldn't be opposed to sleeping inside of it. You can sleep in a 6 gen Bronco 4 door. It's just a little tight. I think Steph did it in a 2 door with North Shore Bronco. He has a video on that. Was it comfortable? I don't think it was, but he did it. So anyway, so that was the weekend that we had. I think I was going to show the. What was I going to show? I was going to show a picture here. What was it, folks? What was it? What was it? Oh no, I was going to show you a picture of something, and I can't even find it right now. But, we had a good time. So if you get a chance to go to an Overland Expo, whether it's East or West or wherever they have them, maybe a North. I don't know if they have a North, but I know they have a West. It's definitely something to go to because there was a lot of products there, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of ideas. I mean, stuff because I'm new to camping and I guess anything to do with overlanding, stuff I didn't even think about. And you can turn your Bronco or your Jeep or your truck or whatever into your, your traveling, hotel if you want to. But there again, I wouldn't do 30 again, 30 degrees at night. However, when we go, and I'm glad, Gavin couldn't go this trip because he was a little under the weather, like I said earlier. I'm glad now he didn't get to go because I would have had to take him to a hotel. And where we were in between Charlottesville and Lynchburg. So, pick your 40-minute drive because it was about 40 either way. I mean, there might be a little place here or there to stay in that distance, but I mean, other than a smaller hotel somewhere, you're driving, a while to do it. So it was fun. It was great. There was a lot of products there. We got to shoot a lot of video. You're going to see a couple more reviews come up, and also go check out if you're interested in this new stuff. The Mountains to Metal is going to have their new products rolling out soon, coming soon. Don't know exactly when. Keep checking out their website, and you'll have it. You'll see it there. I know that when it comes in, we're definitely going to be outfitting the 21 with that. And yeah, it's going to be fun. But let's see, YouTube Car Spotter's Guide. I prefer to sleep in a bed. My truck is great. Just yeah. You know, I, there was the camping thing with Gavin and I, us getting out and doing stuff and connecting and all of that. That's really what it's about. I had a day today that it was just, and I pretty much control my state of mind. But once in a while you just get tried. And today at work, it was just, stuff, right? And I couldn't help to think how relaxed I was last weekend. When when I went Saturday myself, breakfast took a little longer than I like. It was an hour and 15 minutes, get a waffle and bacon. But hey, you know what? I was taking the day off, and the coffee was great and it was free, so why not? But when I got there, it was new. I'd never been to an event like that. Uh, Met some really good people, and that's a net benefit. You get to meet a lot of cool folks, see good products, get cool hats, right? Um, but we really did. We had a blast. And sorry, somebody's texting me. We had a blast, and I do it all over again. But I think for Gavin and I, it's worth the investment of time and money. And I say investment, it is an investment because if you can get peace of mind and go out and see nature and just get away from stress, right? I mean, you can't put a price on that. So that's what we're doing. It's fun. And anyway, I highly recommend if you don't go camping, maybe it's something you look into. And like I said, we have a little field trip next week. So we get to go to a manufacturing facility um, and shoot a video, get a product, put it on. And that's going to be a two video deal. The one is going to be the product, and then the back end will be how that product was made. Right? You don't want to give away the install video, but it's definitely something that anyone with any vehicle can use, and it'll make a good benefit. Oh, let's see, Bronco dude. Yeah, that truck bed rocks. What's going on, Bronco dude? 6.5 foot box. Yep, no less. I hear you. So when you're almost frozen to death, the back of the Bronco works. But I tell you what I did. I reclined the driver's seat, set my alarm clock, and turned the heater on, and it was on high. So it was getting light when I dozed off, and when I woke up, the sun was up pretty. I think I slept like that the Bronco ran for maybe 45 minutes or 40 minutes, something like that. And it was hot in there. Yeah, it was. But it was a good experience. The overlanding thing was great. Nice people, nice camaraderie. And so I highly recommend you do it. Next week, we're going to have some more info. Watch out for some videos this week. And I'm kind of taking it back. When I started out this YouTube channel, we had sort of our way of doing videos and ideas for videos. I'm going to try to take it back there. It's about, what do you want to see? Maybe I'll do a poll. You tell me. But I think technical stuff is always a winner. And diving deep, and like the fuel, I don't really want to run 87 octane in any of our Broncos, but what a good test would be is both Broncos, everything matched, full of 87, full of 93, the same air pressure in the tires, even though that's minute, but still, make sure everything is exact as you can be, and to go on a trip, even next town over or something, do a fuel test and see if you do get better fuel mileage, because the telemetry can, you hope it's accurate, but if you fill a tank up and you do a trip and then you fill it up again, that's hard math, right? That's telling you exactly, what you had in it initially and what you put back in it within a tiny margin of error. So I think that would be a good test, even though maybe on the interstate cruising, we'd run one tank of 87. But there's a theory out there, and maybe someone has a theory on, or a comment on this theory, but it takes maybe the second or third tank for the computer to really adjust for the change in octane. Now, some people say it's instant, but there again, if you have a half a tank of 87, you put a half a tank of 93 in it, what is it reading? Right. What's your blend then? So what I did when I had 87 from the dealer, and I think I put one tank of 87, I think it was one, I ran it till I was a few miles away from empty, to get it as low as possible, and then filled it up with 93. I just know we averaged right now, depends on which Bronco, but between 20.1 and 20.9. Becky drives hers a little bit harder than me. I know I drive like, Paw Paw. But we get good mileage. And I also bet you there's a correlation between um, when you have coking on valves from the oil. I guarantee you, and if you have an oil catch can, you probably would catch more oil in an engine that's get lower gas mileage for several different reasons. And one of which is because if you're building boost, you're building cylinder pressure, creating blow by, more vapor, more catch, or more burning, whether you're catching or burning it. So I think it would be a really cool test to do that fuel oil thing. And so who knows? Maybe we have something in there. I don't know. Bronco 78 said, drive all day exploring, find a place to pull over at night and sleep, not knowing where. Yeah. Bronco 78 here. Let's pull that comment up. Let that comment marinate for a minute, right? Because part of what intrigued me about the Bronco is, and I'm smart enough to know that I see something on TV, it's not magic. There's effort. You've got to learn how to do stuff. You have to buy stuff, right? You have to figure it out where to go, what you need, and how to arrange stuff. But when I saw the Bronco, Ford did an amazing job with the marketing. They took people from where they were in their head at the time and on a short reveal, put them where they wanted to be, or at least they did that with me. And it's kind of that thing as I'm trying to do what I imagined, which was Gavin and I hanging out a lot more than we already did, because we were already buddies. And now it's like, okay, the Bronco, is really cool. But the traveling, not knowing where you're going, I think last fall, right after we got the Bronco, we headed to the mountains and said, we'll figure out where we're staying when we get there. Luckily, we found a hotel one time, and I think a cabin one time. Someone had backed out last minute trip, and we scored a cabin up there. That's the kind of stuff we do. Could you sleep in a vehicle? Yeah, we could have. It wasn't even that cold, but didn't want to. So the Bronco for us is getting us out and doing that kind of stuff. And it is what it is. Let's see. YouTube Spotter Guide. Hope to see more Broncos in the desert this season. Around here, I'm seeing more and more just on the roads. It seems like, someone on my street has a Velocity Blue Outer Banks. Just went down the street, or Gavin, hey, Dad, there's a Bronco down the street. Really? Where? So we go down there, ride our bikes, and we're riding bikes anyway, but we happen to go that way versus the other way. And sure enough, there it is in the driveway. Wasn't there 2 weeks ago. Now it's there. So you're starting to see them show up, right? Orders are being filled. Those have ordered Broncos that's been patiently waiting, more and more and more. You're seeing that someone got their Bronco. They've been waiting since, I don't know if there's any waiting since January of 21, but at some point, somewhere between when ordering opened and current day, you're in that cycle. And people are just, a lot of folks are ecstatic. A lot more people say worth the wait versus, oh no, what did I do? So I think the Broncos meeting all that, but the main thing is get out and enjoy it, and enjoy your time and your family, and just go have fun. Like I talked to some people and Saturday night around a campfire that you had some of the best conversations ever. There was no politics, there was no garbage, it was just fun stuff, and that's what it's about. So on that, what do you guys want to talk about before we head on? 59 minutes. We got to go at least an hour. More technical stuff. I do want to bring more technical stuff, and also have my lovely wife to be my guest, maybe after Gavin checks out. And let's see, any events that that's happening, anyone planning on a Bronco meet and greet or whatever. I think our next event, unless something changes, is Supercell East, which we're going to go loaded this time. We're going to have some fun. Let's see. Brandon Richards, I feel that. Okay, Brandon Richards, here you go. I feel that comment, I guess, talking about just going somewhere and figuring out where you're going. I literally took a cruise one day, put about 50 miles on it. Yeah, and and that's the fun of it, right? If you can get away. And part of what I'm trying to do with business right now is make it so that I can be as mobile as anyone. Um, well, speaking of mobile motto is in an RV, right? It's some work related type thing. Check that out, and you're not stuck in a hotel somewhere, even though, you know, don't get me wrong, nice hotels are great. And we go to those too. Nothing against it. It's just that once in a while, you just want to drive somewhere and not have to be at a certain address at a certain time. You stop, find a place. People do this Wally docking. There is a guy on YouTube called Traveling Robert. Like, got to meet the guy one day. He seems as cool as they come. He does these long trips, pulling an RV, and he'll park in a parking lot in a heartbeat and stay the night and get back on the road and head out the next day. So people do that all day long, and he films it. So that's pretty cool. Bronco 78 said, let's see here. Dwayne, I would like to see a video on the history of the Bronco sales per year. Kind of put in perspective on where the Bronco started and where it's at now. Now, Bronco 78, do you mean, let me read it again. Maybe I answer my own question. Do you mean since the 6th gen, since 21, or are you talking all Broncos? Because that would be interesting. Another thing is, did you know that there's a few different ways to wash a vehicle? I have a way that is probably the median way. Maybe half the people do it my way. You can go fancy with power washers, or you can hand wash. And I get it. If you use a foaming device, theoretically that's better because there's no physical contact, but you can't get all the dirt off a vehicle that way. At least the ones that I've seen. So we're going to do a video on that as well. God, cool stuff. And Bronco 78 said 1966 to current. So that would be good. And I would like to see how, we have some people really good with data at work. How I fund it's a different story, but I mean, it's my money. But it would be Broncos built and sold, and what the economy was like at that point in time. I mean, not I mean, where were interest rates? Where was unemployment? Stuff like that. It would be interesting to see how the sales did in comparison to current day events. So, and maybe that's too technical. Maybe it's just, hey, here's how many sold in 66 through 96. And then again now. Johnny and I had a comment about the flood. So if you look at the wholesale market, see that call coming in, TJ? Man, I'm on the live stream. Buddy of mine all my life helped me find the black and gold car, by the way. Shot a video of it, which we're working on that too. We have like 100 videos we're doing. I was saying something. I got totally sidetracked. Johnny and I were talking about the wholesale market for used vehicles and how the price has started to lower. Well, Hurricane Ian, the theory that I have is it's going to make prices go back up. So when you look at something like a Bronco, right, is the value going to go even higher than it is right now in resale, or is it going to flatten out? Other cars that went down in the last 2 months in value by like 12%, will they rebound? So the car market is very strange right now. You have something like the Bronco, or certain, I guess maybe I don't know how the 392 is selling, but let's just say it's a great seller for Jeep. And let's say obviously the Maverick, a Tesla in general, I think has a pretty good market. How are they faring right now with inventory? Because as their inventory levels build for stuff like the Bronco and stuff, when will prices, when I say come down, I'm really talking about, the ADMs in the beginning. And then one day, is MSRP going to be somewhere to negotiate from, or is that pretty much going to be the future price? And that'll determine on overall inventory. I don't see inventory ever going back to where it was pre-2020, but when inventory start to build, will it affect the price? You might be able to wheel and deal on one, but I'd say right now it's going to be a long time, right? For that to happen. Now, other vehicles more so. Now, I mean, when you look at total inventory, that tells whether you should pay over MSRP or not. But it's interesting to look at that sales. So Bronco 78, thanks for that idea. To look at the sales from 66 to current day, look at the economy, look at now, and try to figure out where the ebb and flow is. That would be a good idea. Iconic Bronco, check out John Elkins' Bronco Racing book, History of Bronco Racing. I will check that, put that up there so other people can see it as well. I will check that out. Tim Martin, I'm gone. Great. Thank you, Tim. I definitely appreciate you checking in tonight. Thank you very much. We're getting ready to be gone as well. Let's see. Before now, other than 78, 79, Bronco sales were not very high. So Bronco 78 had that. So there was a theory. If you watched the Legend Returns over on the Bronco Nation, I need to watch it again. I think there was a comment in there where early Broncos, when the sales were slow, a lot of the Broncos were shipped to Iceland. And I mean, why ship to Iceland? I don't know, but I guess to export them, right? Maybe so they weren't sitting around here on lots. And maybe I heard that on there. I don't know, but check out their videos. Actually pretty cool. Jordan did that over there. And it was a really cool story. And then you also look at how many early Broncos are over there. Still in Bronco clubs, and I mean there's some mean modified Broncos over there. I saw in that videos. Dang. But yeah, and YouTube Spotter Guide said he saw that as well. Let's see, like the old days of you. Yeah, great comment. YouTube Spotter Guy said, Car Spotter Guide said, like the old days, this time the deep discounts, $500 over invoice and $15,000 over invoice. Yeah, inventory levels are going to drive the end price, and then how the rules and regs change with dealers and advertising, which they're working through some changes right now in that. There's all sorts of stuff happening in that. I don't get in. That's not my deal. That's not my specialty, but inventory is my thing, right? It's supply and demand, and how's that going to work out? The Bronco right now, I mean, they're not taking new orders because they're still trying to fill the existing orders. Now, I do have a fear about that. My fear is, what about momentum, right? Tons of momentum so far. You cut off the new orders. You're building. At what point, you get that marketing machine going again, right? Because you want to fill up the order banks again. Now, maybe the order banks fill up like that. Dealers might have lists of people just a mile long that all they need is a phone call, tell them to come in and do it. I'm sure channels like ours and, All Terrain Nation and Johnny's Car Care and reviews and many others. I'm sure Tim and Bird Dog Overland. I mean, I would imagine that everyone that I know and other people will talk about that, right? Hey, inventory's coming up, new orders coming in, and all that working. So, all right, folks, I am out of here for the night. Any other questions before we split? Any other things that you'd like to see on the channel? If not, we're going to call it. But I do appreciate you, like I said, each and every week spending your time. Like I said, I'm going to try to get back to some really cool, new and organic info and video content. And but I appreciate you spending your Wednesday nights with me. It's a great honor. And I do appreciate each and every one of you. Bronco 78, look at Maverick order banks. They were only open 4 days. The Bronco will probably be the same. Bronco 78, very good point. I will keep check on that. Bird Dog Overland, YouTube Spotter Guide. Nick, look at the Todd Zurich wrote a history of Ford legendary. Oh, there we go. All right, I'll check into that. Thank you for that, Nick. I'll check into that, and also the other one. I'll go back through the comments later and write these down. But I do want to check it out. Also, podcast, Bring Back Bronco. If you've never heard it, it's an interesting story. Highly recommend you look it up wherever you get your podcast. The gentleman that did the narration on it, great, like I think ex-Ford employee, really cool guy, nice voice. So it's easy to listen to the podcast. You know what I mean? Good driving, right? So if you're going on a long trip, start it, play all the episodes, or just listen to it every day. Either one. Bring back Bronco. Very interesting. All right, everyone. We're out. See you. Have a good night. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next week, have a good night, good weekend. Be successful, lower the stress level, and watch out for some videos. We're out. See you. Bye.